Today we are going to talk about what to do in Disney Springs. Disney Springs is enormous. It has so much stuff going on. The Disney Springs post, the article that we have on the site, is 3,700 words without dining. So if you add dining, it's, I don't know, thousands more words. It is maybe the biggest thing that we have ever put together on the site because there's so much to cover. So what I want to talk about today is just kind of an overview of what Disney Springs is and how to plan it for your trip. First of all, let's do some basics. Disney Springs was called Downtown Disney until about September 2015. And so people, we get Google Analytics that say what people are searching to get to the website. And a lot of people are still searching for Downtown Disney, but is now called Disney Springs and has been now for a couple of years. It's a little bit confusing because Disneyland still has a Downtown Disney, but it is officially called Disney Springs at Disney World. Disney Springs has 4 separate areas. The first one is called the West Side. That was also a part of Downtown Disney. And this is an area of Disney Springs that features several restaurants, but it also has entertainment available like a bowling alley and movie theater. And those are big places that take up a lot of square footage in the West Side. Secondly, there is the Landing. And if you ever went to Downtown Disney, you may have remembered that there was a section called Pleasure Island, and that is now called the Landing. Pleasure Island had sort of a nightclub adult vibe to it, and it is not like that anymore. The Landing features mostly restaurants that have, many of which have waterfront views there in Disney Springs. Thirdly, Town Center is the only area that's really completely new, and it's also the area I'm most likely to get lost in because it's still very confusing to me even though I go every trip. It has tons and tons of new shops and restaurants, and so a lot of the new openings that you hear about are here because there's a lot of space to fill. And finally, Marketplace. It was part of Downtown Disney. It's still part of Disney Springs. It has lots of great shopping, including the World of Disney, but there is also now a bridge that allows you to go from one end of the Marketplace over into the middle in the landing area, and it makes it easier to navigate Disney Springs so that you don't have to get through all the crowd of people that are in front of the shops and restaurants on the Marketplace, in the Marketplace section. So if you are trying to fit Disney Springs into a trip, it is a good idea to only do it if you have enough time, obviously. So at least 4 or 5 days or more. And it's really perfect on a non-park day because you don't have to have a park ticket to go there. If you have a car, you don't have to pay for parking there. And so if you have an arrival or departure day without plans, Disney Springs is great for that. And it's also great if you have a mid-trip break day. Like if you're there for a week and you have 3 park days and then you want to take a break in the middle, Disney Springs makes a great place to visit on your break day because you can go for just a few hours and it's not quite as intense as if you're in a park. So I want to talk about a suggested touring plan, and this kind of just picks some of the best options that most people seem to like. There's obviously a lot more options than this, and this is just a suggested plan if you happen to be going to Disney Springs for an evening and you just want to do have dinner and do some shopping. First of all, I would suggest making an early dinner reservation at a fun restaurant. If you're on site and you're taking the buses to Disney Springs, the bus stop's right in the middle and it happens to let you out near Planet Hollywood. Planet Hollywood is one of my favorite restaurants in Disney Springs. It didn't used to be, but since it reopened, I really love it, and I think it's fun for the whole family. It's got a lot of good music, and I could eat just appetizers and order a drink there, and I'd be happy. That's really fun. If you have a dinosaur lover, the T-Rex restaurant might be a great option. If you have older children or want a more refined experience, I would suggest the Boathouse, which is great food, great service, and it's right on the water. But I would suggest making an early dinner reservation at one of the good restaurants in Disney Springs. After dinner, I would head to the Lego store, which is fun to look at even if you don't plan on buying anything there. You can build things, you can see the big structures that they've built that are on display, and it's just fun no matter what your age is. In this area, they also have living statues who appear in the evenings. If you may be familiar with Divine, who appears at Animal Kingdom, and It's a person who, you know, it's covered in leaves and she is on stilts and she moves, but they have living statues. I believe it's from the same company as Divine, who appear in the evenings in Disney Springs in the vicinity of the Lego store. And so I would just look out for them if you happen to be there when they're on the schedule. I would suggest doing some souvenir shopping at World of Disney next. This place is huge. Frankly, it gives me a ton of anxiety, on par with like IKEA, you know, just really, really huge. And so I often skip World of Disney, but if you're looking for souvenirs, this is a great place to go. Next, there is a PhotoPass studio that you can go in. It is located near Ghirardelli, I believe. And if you have Memory Maker or if you have an annual pass that comes with photos, you can just go in there, get some pictures taken real quick, scan your Magic Band, and they just take pictures on a backdrop. I believe that the space is primarily used by people that go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in Disney Springs. They can just go over there after they're all done up and get some pictures taken, but anybody can do it. So you might want to just stop by there, take some silly pictures. Last time we were there, they told us, we stood against a screen, had no idea what was going to be on the screen, and they told us to look scared. And when the photos, we opened our account and saw the photos, it was illuminations from Epcot that they had put behind us, and so for some reason we were scared of illuminations. But anyway, they have lots of different backdrops, and you can just stop by there. It's just kind of a fun thing. And if you already have Memory Maker, then it's just a free batch of photos that you can have taken. Next, you can stop by the Ghirardelli shop for a free sample of chocolate. And if you want more than just a free sample, you could also get a sundae or another ice cream treat from the ice cream portion of the store. If you have little ones, you might want to also, while you're in the area, take a ride on the Marketplace train and go in the Once Upon a Toy shop. If you don't have little ones, you might want to go instead in the Marketplace Co-op, which happens to be my favorite place to shop in all of Disney Springs. I know I'm not alone in that. It is a fantastic store with just tons of stuff. They have a whole luggage section. They have stuff for your kitchen. They have clothes. They have everything. It is by far my favorite place to shop. Next, you might want to customize a treat at Goofy's Candy Company. You can choose the kind of treat and toppings that you want and sort of build your own treat, and that's fun. I believe that is also snack credits if you're on the Disney dining plan, so that's a fun dessert if you didn't already get dessert at the Ghirardelli shop. Next, I would recommend taking the Marketplace Bridge. I mentioned to you that they built a bridge in Marketplace to help navigating be a bit easier, and I would recommend walking the bridge back so you can get closer to the middle of Disney Springs. If you would like some cute but inexpensive Disney shirts, I would highly recommend going into the Uniqlo shop. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a huge shop, huge enough to have an escalator, and the stuff there is not very expensive at all. So if you go into like World of Disney or Marketplace Co-op, you may find t-shirts for $30 or $40, whereas if you go into Uniqlo, they may be closer to like $15 or $20, and they're cute, and it's a great shop to find lots of different styles of inexpensive shirts. And finally, I would suggest stopping by the Coca-Cola store before heading out. I mentioned at the beginning, if you're staying on site and you're taking the buses, that the bus stop is near Planet Hollywood. It's also very close to the Coca-Cola store. And so before you head out, I highly recommend going to the Coca-Cola store because you can, first of all, meet the Coca-Cola bear on the second floor. And if you have Memory Maker or have an annual pass, the photos for meeting him will be added to your account. He's really cute. And then I would go up to the rooftop bar. It has a great view of Disney Springs. It's one of my favorite places to just sit and sort of take in the scenery. They do have lots of things you can purchase up there, non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks, and I've done both, but you don't have to purchase anything at all if you don't want to. It's just a great view of Disney Springs. So this is just an example of a touring plan I'd recommend if you have an evening free, but for more details on everything that's available, I will put a link in the description so that you can create a plan for your trip. I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you next time.